Hello, everybody. Welcome to SPI Health and Safety and Superior Gloves webinar. Are your hands ready for impact? My name is Amélie Leduc, and I'm a marketing advisor here at SPI. For those who don't know SPI, basically our mission is to be the single most valuable partner for companies that value health and safety in their work environment. And how do we do this? Well, by providing you educational webinars such as the one today on hand protection. So I'm really happy to present you Ray DiBello. Hi, Ray, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Yourself?
Good, Ray. Well, just before I talk a bit more about Ray, we want to test our webcam today and see if you guys, well, just to show you we're live here in studio and say hi. If you see us, you can use the chat, the question box, the chat box that you have on your console, just to say, hey, hi, we see you. That would be awesome. So we're gonna turn on the camera right now. Oh, hi, everybody.
Hi there.
All right. So I'm going to turn off the camera. So yeah, if you could start, folks, by typing hi, Jose. If we can start, you can start by typing which city you're from in that question box as well. That would be awesome. Ray, you've been with Superior Glove for 25 years. You're the territory manager for Quebec
And Eastern
and
Ontario?
Eastern Ontario, correct. But you've been in the business, in the safety market for 35 years.
Exactly, the total 35.
All right. So how it's going to work today? Well, the webinar is going to last 30 minutes. As I mentioned, you can ask questions on your console. There's going to be interactive questions, and there's going to be a survey at the end that we really want you to answer. I see there's people from Ontario, from Ottawa. Awesome. Great. Keep on telling us which city and which province maybe you're in. This webinar is being broadcast through Canada today. So the program for today, we're going to review the standards. We're going to talk about impact protection. We're going to see the costs of injuries to the back of the hand. We're going to talk also about puncture and needle stick standards. We're going to talk about winter protection and show you new features that Superior Glove has established, and also an industry innovation from Superior Glove as well. So let's start with a little surprise. For those who will answer all of the interactive questions as well as the survey at the end, we'll receive a surprise from Superior Glove and SPI at the end of the webinar. But it's very important you understand you need to fill out every single interactive questions and answer all of the questions in the survey. So let's start with an interactive questions. Oh, we have someone from Kamloops in BC. Cool. Good. All right. So in the past year, how many back of the hand injuries or impact injuries have you had in your company? Is it 1 to 3, 4 to 6, or 7 plus? We'll give you a few seconds to answer. While they're answering, Ray, from your many years of experience, which application seems to be the most affected by this type of injury?
The one that I've seen the most is the mechanics that work with tools like wrenches and so on. They keep knocking the back of their hands against the car or an area. But also what I've been seeing major accidents is in the industry when bottle companies, like for example, gas companies that have bottled gas, they crush their hands between two objects and so on, which is a major accident. And
Yep.
we'll talk about it more in details later on.
Okay. All right. Thanks for mentioning. Most of our audience mentioned having within 1 to 3 accidents in the past year. So
I'm surprised.
Yeah.
I was expecting more.
More? Okay. Well, I mean, it's good.
It's good.
It's a good surprise.
Good.
All right. Thanks for joining in for that interactive question. Okay. So, Ray, maybe let's talk quickly about Superior Glove. Who are you? I know you're a Canadian company, but
Okay, yeah, Superior Glove is the leading manufacturer of work gloves in Canada. We're in Acton, Ontario at office. We also have a plant in Acton. We have 2 other plants in Newfoundland. And we have over 3,400 types of gloves. And what I'm proud of saying that 40% of it are made in Canada. And that's, I think we are the biggest Canadian manufacturer of products.
Good. As you always mentioned to me, Ray, and also to our audience in our last webinar, we don't have a standard in Canada.
We have nothing.
But we keep talking about ANSI. Why?
Well, ANSI, because it's in the U.S., we're North American. ANSI are coming out. They came out with a cut-resistant standard in 2016. Now they just came out with the impact that we'll be talking about. They have a guideline. They have a structure, and that's why we're pushing it, because the industry should have this. Manufacturers and the user should be aware there is a standard. That's basically what it is.
Yeah, and there was confusion and misinformation, and
Exactly.
that's why there are a total of 6 ANSI standards. But today we're going to present 4,
Exactly.
which are the ones you see on your screen. We'll discuss about them later on through the slides.
Exactly.
Let's go with our second interactive questions. How much do you think How much do you think a back of the hand injury costs? 5,000, 20,000, 50,000, or 70,000? We'll give you a few seconds to answer. Just a reminder, if you want to have the surprise at the end, you must respond to all of the interactive questions and the survey at the end.
At the same time, too, I just want to mention that we're talking impact injury, but just a cut injury. If somebody with a box cutter does happen to cut themselves and they stay home for a week, usually it's 4 times the individual salary. So if they're making $500 a week, it will cost the company $2,000 minimum.
Okay, so let's keep that in mind. All right. Okay, so it's very interesting, right? We have basically most people think it's between 20 and 50,000. A very few 5,000. None thinks it's $70,000. So I guess we'll see the answer on the next slide, which is
$70,000.
That's incredible. Can you explain a little bit of?
Well, the fracture in the back of the hand is like literally breaking your hand. It could take up to 3 months. And sometimes you may even lose a percentage of that of your hand, but usually it's about 3 months, and that's a lot of it is time off, and basically it's cost. That's why.
Yeah, and like you said, 3 months, but it can go higher, and I mean, wow, yeah, definitely. Good, thanks for answering that interactive question. Right, why did ANSI came up with the 138 standard in May earlier this year?
Well, they found that in the U.S. there were some manufacturers that were producing or supplying gloves with impact protection, yet there was still some more accidents. And in the video that we're going to show you later, you'll understand more in detail. So they found that some manufacturers were claiming impact, but really there wasn't. It's just a foam type compared to proper rubber and so on to absorb the product. And this is why they came out with that, because again, the cost of an accident could go up to $70,000.
And if I'm not mistaken, this standard also comes from the motorcycle industry.
Exactly. They copied off of that standard ANSI has for motorcycles.
Okay. So we see here on your screen the level that you choose if you want impact resistant, level 1, 2, or 3. We're going to see, I guess you're going to see for yourselves in the next video. Just to let you know, you may need to adjust the volume of the video. If the video doesn't work, let us know through the chat box. We're doing some tests today because we want to incorporate more and more videos from now on and live, just live moments like we did earlier, but we need your feedback in order to ensure that it works. So let's start with the first video. Hi, Ray.
How are you?
Good, yourself?
Good, thank you.
Good. So we're here to talk about impact for hand protection. First of all, maybe you could talk to us about the new 3 levels that were actually created in May 2019, I think,
exactly.
Just a few months ago.
Exactly.
There's a level 1, level 2, level 3.
Exactly. ANSI came out with the standard. The reason why there was a lot of injuries in the U.S., and before we even talk about the standard, I want to show you why there was injuries. This is a typical foam that we see in the impact, in other words, in the back of the hand. And I have a metal ball, and you'll notice it doesn't absorb the impact. This is a D3O foam. There is a difference.
Big difference.
Big difference. As you know, an accident is very expensive. We're talking anywhere between $70,000 to $100,000 for an impact injury. Yeah. Okay, this is why ANSI came out with this.
It's important we take care of our hands, right?
Exactly. Superior, what we did is we came out with cut-resistant gloves with an impact. So this would be an impact level 1 with a cut-resistant level 4 ANSI. We also came out with a new one, which is a ANSI 7 cut-resistant, but with an impact 2.
Okay.
Okay. With other applications, what we did for welding, for example, we did a welding glove with the impact and protection. Again, this is a level 1, and this one here is a level 2. It's a general purpose work glove for exterior.
That's good. So there's a variety of products available with lots of impact resistance.
Exactly.
For different applications.
Exactly. And the name of the game, at the end of the day, it's safety.
Absolutely. And correct me if I'm wrong, Ray, but I do know that ANSI has come up for the tests that they do in laboratories. They are not doing their own tests. They use an external firm or lab to make sure there's no conflict of interest, just to ensure the security.
It's the proper standard. I mean, they have to follow, and they also have to indicate the right standard depending on the test that they perform. So it has to be an outside company recognized by ANSI.
Good. So excellent. Let's take care of our hands to make sure that we can use them for a very long time.
Excellent.
Thank you, Ray.
Thank you.
All right.
That explains a lot.
Yes, exactly. Some people mentioned that they can't get the volume to work. As I mentioned, it needs to come from your computer audio. You have to adjust with your computer. We cannot remotely upgrade the volume for your laptop. So, all right. So, Ray, here we see a new product for impact protection. Can you tell us more about it?
Well, if you notice there's a logo that says ANSI and ISEA 138. That's the new standard. It's the logo. The glove or the PDF or the sales sheet that the manufacturer will give you has to indicate that. If it doesn't indicate that, it is not what an ANSI standard. One thing I like to point out also, the advantage of ANSI, there's always a third party testing the product. So it's really controlled, and it's reality when the glove is tested by a third party. And this is a cut resistant glove level 7 with the impact level 2.
Good. I think we've mentioned, we've talked about the lab in the videos as well. So perfect. So we'll present in the next video, we'll present 2 standards. I believe, Ray, one is for the industrial market, while the other one is more targeted for medical uses.
Exactly.
So, well, can you just maybe tell us a little bit about it, and we'll see more detail and the demonstration in the video.
Exactly. Well, it's Puncture. A lot of people are misinformed. There's 2 standards. One is called large object Puncture, and the other one is called what we call is the needle stick, which is basically a needle, and medical used mainly in medical. There are 2 standards completely different, and the number 2 is that they're also cost-wise is completely different too. So I mean, if you're picking up a needle, yes, you should have the needle stick standard. If you're picking up a broken glass or just a large, like big nails and so on, you don't need a needle stick. You just go with a standard puncture resistant glove.
And the video will show a really interesting demonstration. Maybe just want to clarify that the puncture standard is not for nail guns, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Well said. Yes.
Okay, perfect. So let's move on to our second video. So again, you may want to adjust the volume on your computer. There we go. Hi, Ray. How are you?
I'm fine. Yourself?
I'm good.
Good.
So now we're going to talk about needle stick resistant glove and puncture resistant glove. So
exactly.
There's two norms, ANSI, and there's different levels and for different applications. So
exactly.
Let's talk about puncture first, maybe.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about puncture. So basically, puncture would be something of a big nail, broken glass, and so on. Needle stick is exactly that, needles. Yeah. That's the difference. But we'll start first with puncture. So we have up to level 5 puncture resistant. All our gloves are indicated, the cut resistant level and also the puncture level. Yeah. These 2 here, this is a level 9 cut resistant. This is a level 6 cut resistant, but they're both level 4 puncture resistant. Not recommended for this, very important. This is just recommended for standard puncture resistant.
And it's well indicated as well.
Exactly. We'll do a test. I'll take this product, this nail here, and I'll apply it. And you'll notice I'm having a hard time going in. But if I take a needle, I will instantly
you'll be able to get in.
Exactly.
So that's really important that people need to make the difference between puncture resistant gloves and needle stick resistant gloves.
And a lot of times in the industry, they ask me for needle stick where they only need puncture, a high puncture resistance. So there's also a cost saving for them using the right glove.
Absolutely. Okay.
Okay.
And what about we could do the test with the needle stick
Yes.
glove resistant?
This is a level 4
Okay.
needle stick protection.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use the same needle, and I will not be able to.
It's not going in.
It will not penetrate, and I'm putting 220 pounds of pressure. I was not able to let it go.
So it's very nice that we see the difference.
Exactly.
Because sometimes we hear about it, but just to see.
Exactly.
Yeah,
You know,
definitely.
the other thing too, because for example, city workers, anybody involved picking up needles, we also recommend the glove and the sleeve, which is also puncture resistant.
Yeah.
This is another one that we came out, and it's a level 5 puncture.
Okay.
In some industries, they're also using this product here.
Okay.
Because it has great cut resistant and also extremely high puncture resistant.
Okay. And I think it's important to remind our audience that ANSI, when they're doing their tests to make sure of the different levels, they are not doing their own tests. They do they deal with an outside firm or
Recognized by ANSI to do the
exactly.
test.
So
Exactly.
there's no conflict of interest.
Exactly.
We're talking a lot about this, but it's important for the
Exactly.
credibility of the product and to ensure the safety
Yeah.
of our workers.
And just keep in mind there is a difference between both standards.
And if you're not sure, then ask us.
Exactly.
Thanks, Ray.
Thank you.
Video.
Yes. Okay. Perfect. So here's a new product that Superior Glove
Came out with,
came out with, sorry, for needle stick. Can
Yeah.
you just give us some
Yeah,
more information?
what is this is made for needle stick. So if you're picking up a needle or something equivalent to that thickness, this is a puncture level 4 when a needle stick, and it's also cut resistant level 3. On the next slide, we'll show you what we call the industrial market. It says puncture level 5, but for the industrial market. So for large object, broken glass and big nails and so on. So be very careful.
Yeah,
And
according to the standard, yeah, you really
exactly.
want to make sure you pick the right. Good. Okay, so let's go ahead with our last interactive questions for today. At what stage is your hand protection program? You have 5 choices here. A, you don't have a hand protection program but would like to create one. B, you're just starting to assess different programs. C, you've started one but would need help with assessment, auditing, or recommendations. D, you've just completed a program, or E, you have no program and you don't, that's not a need at this moment. So we'll give you a few seconds to answer before we move on to our next topic, winter protection.
I'd like to just point out on that subject there is that 23% of the injuries in a facility, a working facility, is hand related.
Yeah.
So I think it's very important to have a program.
It's a lot considering that it costs about $70,000 per employee.
Exactly.
Yep. Okay, we'll give you a few more seconds. All right. Perfect. Thanks for answering, everybody. So just be aware the next slide may be offensive to some of you, even though some of you have seen this already in September. Winter is coming. And
yes,
yeah.
yes.
So we're going to show a video about winter protection. I mean, it's a good thing we're talking about winter because apparently it's going to be very cold if we listen to what the medias or the are saying, and we need to be well protected, and SPI and Superior Glove can help you out with that. So let's move on to our last video. There you go. Hi, Ray. How are you?
I'm fine. Yourself?
I am great. Thank you.
Good.
So maybe our audience is not going to like us as much because we're going to talk about winter. It's coming. It's in a few weeks. If you recall, last year was pretty cold.
Very cold.
And I think it's going to be even colder this
They're
year.
announcing that also.
Yeah. Okay. So let's prepare ourselves so we don't we're not surprised and we're ready for it. So Superior Glove, you guys have on the market some gloves that are -5 up to -10, and you guys also came up with products with -30, -45. Can you maybe talk to us a little bit about everything?
This is a standard glove. It's a split level glove with a boa, a protection about -5. One of the disadvantage with a split lever glove is that it absorbs liquid right away.
Okay.
That's a disadvantage. Yeah. This is a mechanic style type of glove, which we see often in the market, and we can go maybe up to -10. You'll notice that there is no rating of the cold protection on it. No. What Superior is doing now is that we bought a machine and we're testing it and we're indicating the protection. This is an example, -30.
-30. And Superior Glove is a licensed manufacturer of Thinsulate.
Exactly.
The fiber of 3M.
Exactly.
So it's been tested with 3M.
Yes, in partnership with 3M, yeah. we are coming out with these gloves. And the machine that we bought, it's also with partnership with 3M. So this gives you some example. This is another one that we came out, it's -30, but it's got a treatment on it that doesn't absorb water. Compared to these ones, it will absorb water.
Yeah, okay.
But then again, we could also go at a higher protection of cold. This is -45. This is one of our best sellers. It's also -45. It's a mitt.
Yeah, and it covers also, half of the arm as well.
Exactly, that's great.
And I think you sold a lot last year and
yes.
ran out, but you stocked everything and you guys are ready.
We have plenty in stock, but who knows what kind of weather we're going to get again this year.
So think about it sooner than later.
Yep.
Protect your arms. Don't be cold and enjoy the winter, I guess.
Exactly.
All right, thank you, Ray.
Thank you. What's important is that anything, here in Quebec or in Ottawa area, it's very cold in the wintertime. And if you're going with anything which is -5, it's insufficient for protection, especially when it's -20. You should go with a glove that has a rating of over -20.
Yes, and I think here's the new product for winter.
Yeah, it's a glove. Yeah, cut resistant glove. And it's also touchscreen, but what we're doing now is we're indicating on the glove itself the protection of cold. It would be a -5.
And we see the symbol, right?
Exactly.
Okay, and it's marked on the glove itself. Okay, just before we move on to the next product, just wanted, it's a bit late, but some people have mentioned that they had to switch their audio settings on the webinar palette to no audio if you're using a wireless headset. Just for further reference, I think it was important to share. So. All right, so we've shared this this product. The other one here, Ray, is -30.
Exactly. Again, like I said, the borderline, if I can say, is -20. Anything over -20 becomes dangerous. So if you are working outside and they're calling for a cold, like something anywhere over 20, you should go get protection like this one, which is -30. And all the gloves are indicated indicated that their protection will go up to what level.
And I know that you've shared Ontario is cold, but I've lived in Alberta and I lived in BC, and it can get pretty cold.
Exactly.
All right. Here's a few handouts that are available to you that you can download from your console. One is on Thinsulate, so for winter protection, to make sure you can evaluate how much Thinsulate you need for your gloves, depending on the application that you do. The other one is the guide to the ANSI standards, or all of the different standards we've spoken about, plus the other ones that we haven't. And finally, the glove palm coatings, which talks about the different coating you can have in terms of glove resistance.
Depending on the application and so on.
So you can also download that directly from the console. This is available to you as we speak. So Superior Glove came out with a new innovative product for workers that actually work with a nail gun. Can you just maybe explain?
Yeah, this is something that it took us 2 years to develop. It's the only one in Canada and US. I don't know about worldwide, but I know in Canada, US, nobody else makes it. It took us 2 years. We worked with an association out of Ontario, and it's the first glove for nail guns, basically. There's a protection. All the parts are replaceable, but it is safe, and you will not puncture yourself with a nail gun with this product here. So it's one of a kind from Superior.
Absolutely, and if people want some more information or wants a demonstration, you just need to contact us directly and we'll arrange that for you. All of the handouts, all of the information we've given you, you can for sure go on to superiorgloves.com website for technical specification. But as we mentioned earlier, for those who answered the interactive questions and the survey, we will be giving a level 3 cut resistant and a level 4 puncture resistant glove made in Canada. And
with touchscreen application.
Exactly.
So this will be given out with sizing anywhere between sizing between 5 and 12.
So what you have to do is, once you respond to the survey, the last question says any other comments. You just need to give us the size in that answer, and we'll be able to send it to you. But remember, you needed to answer the interactive questions, and you need to answer all of the questions in the survey. So from Ray, from the 450 employees at Superior Glove here at SBI, we're just about to be 400. We want to say thank you for joining in today.
Thank you. And also on the behalf of you people, you made Superior Glove #1 glove manufacturer in Canada. So thank you.
Obviously, as I mentioned, our survey is very important for us that you fill it out. It'll give us a lot of information, but most importantly, we'll be able to reflect the type of webinars and information you're looking for. Thank you very much, Ray, for your time today.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. Thank you for your participation in those videos. We had a lot of fun filming them.
Thank you.
And well, everybody, be safe. Enjoy the winter, even though it may be cold. We invite you to our next webinar on hearing protection on November 20th. We'll discuss the hearing protection program and show you the 3M new product in terms of hearing protection. And we'll also introduce you to the 3M dual ear fit validation system. So be safe. Looking forward to hear from you. Bye-bye.